With generative AI dominating headlines and boardrooms, are you feeling the pressure to do something or anything with AI, but still unclear where to start, what use case actually matters, and how to turn hype into real value? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many leaders are facing the same tension, balancing urgency with uncertainty, vision with execution. That's why today's conversation is just not important, it's essential. Hi, I'm Raghu Kiran. Welcome to another episode of Visionary Voices, a thought leadership podcast where we explore the strategies, journeys, and insights of leaders shaping the future of business, technology, and people. Joining me today is a leader at the forefront of digital transformation, Mr. Preetpal Singh, Group Managing Director and Global Head of Product and Platform Engineering at Xebia. With over 26 years of experience across the technology spectrum, Preetpal has led large-scale transformation, championed intelligent automation, and built high-performing global teams. He's also a trusted voice on AI strategy, innovation execution, and organizational agility. Today, we'll explore how he sees the intersection of AI, hyperautomation, and how these forces are transforming the business world. Preetpal, it's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Kiran.
It's Preetpal, I was very much looking forward for this conversation, and I've read so many of your articles, so it's a perfect opportunity to understand more in depth in terms of your own thought leadership. And I've enjoyed, by the way, I've enjoyed reading this article, your articles.
No, thank you, Kiran. And I was also equally excited when I got to know that I'll get an opportunity to do a podcast with you. So I'm looking forward to the session today.
Oh, brilliant. So let's start, Preetpal. Before we get into the world of generative AI, intelligent automation, and business transformation, I want to take more of a personal angle, more to understand your why. Uh, and what's your core purpose or philosophy that drives you in the work you do and the way you lead, Preetpal?
I think the most important aspect is how do you make a difference for your customer? How do you really make them a market leaders? Okay, that's a very big passion for me. Every day when I go and work with our customers, I always focus on what difference that we can make, to either help them be more successful in the market or to bring innovation to them, drive innovation for them. So that is one of the key passion that I have. And that's what I work with my team as well on day-to-day basis, looking forward every day to something new that we can bring it to the market.
It's impressive. It's all about being customer obsessed.
Yes.
I always say that, you have two defines of purposes. One of the purpose evolves over a period of time. Has this your purpose has evolved over a period of time, or is it was there any defining moment where you felt like uh, my career path is all about being an advisor and thought leader for our clients? I just wanted to get your idea or your thoughts around that.
I think everyone goes through a journey, right? You start your professional career as a developer. You're always heads down, focusing on what is given to you, and then at certain period of time you don't even know whatever you're developing or whatever you're creating, where it is being used, how it will make an impact, right? And slowly when you move, towards this journey of getting more near to the business, then you start looking at, oh, this is how I'm actually, creating value in business, right? And then you start interacting with more and more people, in your career life, right? And then I think it is a maturity curve that slowly comes with the time. And then it also starts giving you a very clear picture on what that you can do to make a difference, in whether driving certain key business initiatives, making sure that how can you make a difference within your own company, within your own team, to guide them in the right way, and then finally, driving customer satisfaction. That's one of the key aspect, and all of that comes with lot of due diligence, focusing on meeting people, talking to people, learning on day-to-day basis, and you learn from your mistakes, right? We have also done certain things which may not resulted in positive outcomes, but at the same time, it basically drives learning in you. And once you learn from that, you become more disciplined from that perspective, and then you basically take those learnings and make better outcomes on ongoing basis. From an advisory and consulting perspective, I've been working with various different type of enterprises, whether it is in banking, financial service, insurance, healthcare, life sciences, retail, and few others. Every time, when you go and interact with them, you always face a new challenge, right? And when you face a new challenge and you have a new problem to solve, over the period of time, you get to the stage where you are in a position to even advise certain key businesses or people of how can they not do the similar mistakes that you have gone through, but achieve the outcome much faster in a better way. And that's what drives me on day-to-day basis. And I love a low role of advisory and consulting with customers, with my fellow partners that are there in the market. In fact, even my colleagues that are there. So you get to learn something, and you get a chance to basically deliver the learning to others as well.
It's pretty impressive, I have to say, Pritpal. You have a remarkable career in a way, the way if you look at last 20 years, you've grown up, right? You've grown into your role. What you're saying now is because you work with so many industries, so many companies, right? You have such a diversified experience. I've seen many of them are stuck in their own field, I would say, in the industry. So, what advice you would give to them? I mean, give to them who wanted to kind of diversify their experience. Do you think you stick to one industry, or having that diversified experience would help in their career? I just wanted to get different perspectives.
Uh, I think the first thing is accept the challenge, right? People who go in a comfort state, they are in a comfort state because they think that what they know is they know it well, and they don't want to experiment, or they are probably afraid of failures. I would just say that don't be afraid of failure. Take a challenge, try something different every time. What it finally do is basically get you more learning. It'll make you better and better every day. You get to experience and experiment various different problem solving skills. So all that will only come if you come out of your comfort zone and then accept the challenge to do something different. And that's what I think I would recommend.
This is brilliant. Thank you, Pritpal, for your tip as well. Your diversified experiences means you got more learnings. More learnings means you become better version of yourself. That means you're pushing your comfort zone. Brilliant. Thank you for that. So now we got the foundation right. I wanted to get into the depth of one of the most impactful topics in the leadership today. That's generative AI. As I said before, I've really enjoyed reading your articles, especially on thought leadership, on several aspects of generative AI. I wanted to start with, and in fact, one of the prediction Gartner said that by 2025, over 75% of enterprises will move from AI pilots into operationalizing at scale. But as you know, Pritpal, turning into a business value is never easy.
Yes.
So, based on your experience, what advice you would give to leaders how they should approach integrating AI into core business functions so that they get immediate return and as well as the long-term value?
No, sure. So the first thing is, I think they should focus on aligning AI initiatives with their business strategy overall. Now, it is a phased approach. It's not like you bring in AI and suddenly deploy it at a very big scale, implementation. So the way, my recommendation is, and exactly that we do on day-to-day basis. The first thing we do is we identify certain, small pain points, or focusing on some high impact areas, for example, like customer service problems or supply chain problems, sales forecasting, right, where AI can deliver quick wins.
Okay.
Once you have these pilot projects done, then you basically take this whole AI initiative and tie it to broader strategic objectives of like digital transformation or market leadership and all that stuff. Now, to do that, there is an appropriate process that you need to follow. And the first thing that you need to focus is assess the data readiness. Do you even have a right data with right quality, with right governance, with right accessibility, right? And also invest in data infrastructure to support your scalable AI solutions, right? And again, as I said, once you have that in place, then you start with pilot projects, right? Launch some small scale pilots in selected business functions, not necessarily that they need to cut across multiple business functions, but find a problem in one of the business areas, solve it with AI, measure the outcomes against the KPIs, very clear KPIs that you want to have. So you want to make sure that you are also driving value realization to that.
Mm.
Once you have that in place, then you build cross functional teams, right? Combine business domain experts with technology experts, uh, foster collaboration, and AI adoption from one area to another area, and slowly it expands, right? And then you move into more scaled and integrated version of large scale implementations on AI. An ongoing basis, you're going to learn the lessons from these pilots to refine and then scale your AI implementations into the enterprise.
This is impressive. In fact, I want to go a bit more deeper into it. But let me, I really loved it. Start with quick wins, right? So, based on your experience, Pritpal, what could, again, I know it varies from company to company, but again, I wanted to have a bit more generalized in a way. What are the quick wins for a company if somebody wants to deploy AI based on your experience?
The quick wins basically relate directly to the outcomes. Okay, outcomes may be in the form of driving efficiency, driving employee engagement, employee experience, or your customer experience, focusing on driving new business models, that can make you a leader in the market. Again, with this AI, lot of industries are reshaping. So
Yeah.
having that vision of how our current industry will reshape in the future, you do small steps now, and then every steps comes with some very clear KPIs and metrics. And once you implement any AI solution, you make sure that you are getting the ROI and a business value realization out of that use case. And if you are targeting, okay, I will reduce my uh, you know uh, cost by 5% in a specific area, for example, in finance operations, right? And I want to drive it through AI initiatives. I want to bring AI into it. Once you implement that solution, then you actually need to monitor it, measure it, and then optimize it on the basis of that, am I getting a 5% cost optimization in that particular area? So that's how you basically drive these AI initiatives and then get the value out of them.
You made a very interesting point here, Pritpal. Always tie it up to clear business outcomes
Correct.
and have a clear KPIs, right? In fact, I have a follow up on that one. So, what's one mistake companies often make during this transition whenever they wanted to integrate AI into their business, right? Based on your again experience, what's that one mistake companies often make?
I think because AI has become such a hype that everyone is in a rush to deploy and implement AI into their enterprises, right? And in some cases, they don't even think through the fact that what is their current data state in the organization. Because anything that today, whether it is through Gen AI or putting agentic AI agents on top of it, all of that will only give you right results if you have the right data underneath that. And if you don't focus on defining the data appropriately and managing the data appropriately, then you are not actually looking at the right derived results out of that. And then that's how you get into certain areas of hallucination when it comes to Gen AI. It gives you wrong decisions on certain things, which is not going to end up into a right results. So don't rush into directly jumping on implementing AI solutions, but look at it why you need an AI solution, and then to to do that AI or to implement that AI solution, do you have the right amount of data set underneath that? Whether it is unstructured data or a structured data, you need to know how to leverage them both, right? There is a right governance, there is a right security in place, when you're using all of that. And also, there is a lot of focus these days on observability as well. You need to make sure that you're defining the right process, leveraging the right steps to basically get AI into your enterprise. And then today, all the hyperscalers have, you know, complete stack of AI capabilities and services that you can leverage, right? It's not that something that you need to really build from scratch. They have all that available. But to use it in a right way to get your outcome is the most important thing, and you should do it in a proper way.
So, in a nutshell, what you're saying, Pritpal, is the data is the fuel, right? You need to
Yep.
make sure you get the data right. I mean, very often I'm not, Pritpal. I see many companies still have that legacy infrastructure, which are
Mhm.
disparate systems, disparate architectures. Um, if, for example, if a CEO wanted to, of course, as a business advantage, right, we wanted to leverage AI, how do leaders go about it in terms of uh, do they have, I mean, is that a big investment where they have to literally relook at their architecture and system so it's appropriate and it's AI ready, scale ready? What advice you would give to these companies which are still running on legacy infrastructures, legacy systems, where, as you rightly pointed, observability as well plays a critical role. So, what advice you would give to those leaders?
So basically, there are, I would say, three type of enterprises exist today from an IT landscape perspective. One is where they are still not on cloud; they are all on premise. All data centers is on premise. Then there are enterprises who are hybrid, who have an on-premise data centers, and they are adopting cloud as well. They have migrated most of their systems and technology to cloud. And then there are native cloud ready organizations who have done everything in cloud. For the third type of enterprises, it becomes much more easier because now these hyperscalers are fully enabled on AI services. They have, whether it is GCP or AWS or Microsoft, they have a full infrastructure in place. And if you are completely on cloud, it becomes more easy because your data is set up in more structured way, and you don't run into those issues. In the model of hybrid, yes, there are certain challenges that you may run into because it depends upon, when you say legacy, how old is that legacy, right? In that particular case, then you follow a basic data principles of setting up a data lake, making sure you're bringing all the data to that, and then leveraging the data for your AI algorithms and all that stuff, right? The major challenge comes for the organizations which are completely data center, focused organizations which have not yet gone to the cloud. Even today, for those kind of organizations, Nvidia has an option to basically set up the complete AI SLM LLM models within their data center itself, and they are bringing all the services into the data center to basically drive AI initiatives. So there are solutions for
Right?
each of those types.
Okay, this is for on-premise you're talking about.
Yes, this is only from on-premise who are completely on-premise today and not yet explored into the cloud strategy.
That's very interesting. That's a very good piece of information you shared, Pritpal. Okay, brilliant. So, most recently, we have heard this example from Microsoft, right? In terms of an outcomes, we all know that generative AI has got an outcome, and Microsoft are going to save or saving around 500 million, and when they decided to deploy across the call center, software engineering, and sales, customer service. And as such, there are so many use cases. And in fact, I was just looking at another use case, and was around Deloitte um, deploying within their internal systems where they're saving 50% in terms of efficiency and other things. So, based on your experience, because you work with such a diverse clients, yourself and the company, what is that Can you recollect one example or case study where you came across that really wowed you in terms of the outcomes that generative AI delivered? Can you think of one such case or example?
I mean, there are many such cases that are there. Few of them, the initial days of conversational AI which came in, and then that conversational AI was completely, uh, enabled over the Gen AI capabilities. And initially, the chatbots used to be there. You basically, put up a question, and basically then, based on the data driven rules, and existing data, it used to tell, okay, this is the answer, right? And then the whole conversational AI came in, and it was completely, hosted on Gen AI models underneath that. So it completely changes the ball game. Like, if I am, an employee, I come in and I want to order a laptop for me. I have to raise the request and follow certain processes, and and all that stuff, right? In this particular case, you basically go and open a conversational AI, uh, you know um, uh, experience, and then you say that, okay, I'm in need of this particular laptop, looking forward to this basic configuration. And just by doing that, it knows who I am, what my role is, what my core focus areas are, and what approvals are required behind. So LLM goes behind there, find all the information, do all the decision making, and then we've written agents on top of that, which basically goes and do operational activities. And what the end result is, tomorrow I have a laptop on my table. You know, so these kind of, I would say, touchless services that came in, it completely enhanced the experience of the employees to a great level, and it actually also drives the productivity of the employees to a great extent, right? The other example is where, in fact, I'll give you an example internally with us. We are a software engineering organization, right? And if we need to look into efficiency and productivity, right, what a software engineer has to do. I mean, we basically follow through a complete software development life cycle. We go talk to customer, ask them, okay, what are your requirements, business requirements? We convert them into technical specifications, convert them into user stories, and then create, all sort of system designs, and then do implementation. And then the QA team comes in and they write test cases and all that stuff, right? Last 1 year, we have been deeply focusing on completely automating that process through Gen AI. Okay, we have built in a platform which basically where I can, ingest unstructured business information. I can ingest some documents I that is being fed by our customers. It takes all that information. It takes even the meetings that have happened, video recordings, and it creates the user stories. Automatically, there is an agent that is set on top of it, which takes those user stories and integrate with Jira and post it on Jira. Then there is a prioritization agent which basically prioritize them, right? Automatically everything. Then we have written, X architecture, which basically goes and takes those user stories and convert high level, low level design documents and data models for us. Imagine, and everything that is happening in minutes,
Mm.
right? Based on those user stories, it automatically create your test cases, and in fact test scripts in any language that you say to execute those test cases, right? So all of that, for I think we have gained almost minimum 40 to 60% productivity and efficiency through this whole process.
Wow.
Now business analysts are not actually writing and typing the user stories. What they are doing is they are basically going into user stories and just managing and reviewing the fact that, okay, is the acceptance criteria is right for that particular business problem or not, or a business use case or not, and not spending actually manually writing all of that. So basically, most of the mundane tasks, through this whole intelligent AI capabilities, we are basically automating those tasks, for our internal teams as well. So similarly, we are also going after a strategy where we have taken few initiatives. We want to automate our HR, we want to automate our finance, we want to automate our sales operations, and we are also taking forward and and bringing AI into pre-sales as well, for that matter, and marketing team as well. So there's a lot of initiative we are doing internally for our organization itself to be better, efficient, to basically support our customers, while we are, every day we are working with our enterprise customers to help them on Gen AI as well.
And I think it goes back to your own framework that you shared earlier. Start with quick wins and then start
Correct. Yeah, then you start expanding.
other expanding, right? Look at other business functions. I mean, clearly what you said around 40 to 50% efficiencies. We always look at ever more with ever less, right? And this is a classic example of driving employee and in fact team productivity.
Yes.
Um, there's so much of direct and indirect costs are saved for the company. Am I right to say that? That this is a brilliant example you've shared as well. And in fact, I did check that in your website where you're supporting sales, right? Especially pre-sales activity, which I find it's pretty useful. And because these days for sales, I know that they have to do with so much of information, right? And it's not easy for anyone. And if they have, and I know you have so much of data available, if you can make it structured for sales or pre-sales team, and you make it spontaneous, and you're not only adding value to your own team, but you're adding value to the customers as well. Because
To the point that it is real time. So, for example, imagine an organization like us who have 6, 7 different, you know, technology service lines. We have high-end tech consulting arms. We have industry verticals, right? All of that, and imagine how much amount of use cases,
yeah,
uh, pitch decks, all that will be there, right? So we created a GenAI based pre-sales bot, which is completely real time. If I am sitting in front of my customer gives me a problem statement, I feed that problem statement up. It basically goes and identifies if we have any offerings which is very well aligned with that, or if we have any solutions that we have already built that we can demonstrate it to them. It automatically shares certain key pitch decks that I have already created. Say, for example, if I go and meet with a life sciences customer and they are focusing on optimizing their clinical trials, so we have certain solutions that build on specifically in the clinical trial space, and at real time, it gives me all the information and knowledge to basically have a very logical, conversation with my customer, and also offer my customer all the key all the key solutions, all the key offerings that I already have, that I'm working with other customers, right? So that basically completely changes the way you basically interact with your customers and how you can deliver value to them at real time. So we have created all these kind of tools and solutions to help our sales organization as well.
yeah, brilliant, Preetpal. Thank you for sharing. But I wanted to ask you, I want to take your inputs as well, because this is very often I get to hear from few CIOs that I talk to as well. uh, where the CEOs are very keen on deploying AI because there is so much of growing pressure, right, to do something with the AI. And of course, as you rightly pointed, you need to be very cautious. You don't want to be in the trajectory of innovative FOMO. Again, that's the word which I picked up from one of your article. So, what advice you would give to leaders where there is so much of pressure to do something with AI, but there's lack of strategic clarity or to even that internal readiness, as we talked about, right? Spoke about there's no they are not ready, infrastructure not ready, but still there is a growing pressure from CEOs to do something with the AI. I know it's quite tough question, but I just wanted to get your perspective of what advice you would give to these leaders who are kind of thinking how to go about it.
I think the first and foremost is, leaders need to have a visionary thinking. Okay, they should really look at how AI will reshape their industry.
Is it from technology leaders or you talking business leaders from CEO?
Business and technology both.
Both. Okay.
Okay, because there is a convergence of business and technology coming so close to each other with this whole Gen AI era, right? Where uh, you cannot have a business leader with a vision and the technology leader does not know how to support that vision. Yeah, right. So they have to come together. Then there is an adaptability and agility because every day something new is coming up. So
Mm.
they need to basically learn, they need to make sure that they are very, very agile from that perspective. And they have to be tech savvy. I know that, most of the business leaders, they may not be, I would say, very strong in technology, but at least they need to bare minimum know how Gen AI is helping, what is there, what is ethical AI, and all those things that needs to, for them to bring it to drive their business, right? At the same time, they can use a lot of intelligent collaboration tools within the organization, right? We have a Copilot embedded into Microsoft Teams, and when you're collaborating with your team, it automatically takes all the notes, drives certain decision making for you, and all that stuff is happening on the side. Uh, and I would say everybody needs to have a continuous learning mindset. That will be very important. Every day things are going to change. The way innovation is happening in the industry is amazing. I mean, there used to be a time where you used to have, a one new technology area of focus, and it used to take some time to come up with another emerging technology. But now it is changing every day. Everyone is coming up with new technology, new ideas, which are basically getting into the market. So just you need to have that continuous learning. And finally, AI is going to impact, right, the employees of the organization, the customers that you are working with. So it is very, very important to drive the change management, within your organization. So, you know, uh, people are, in a lot of times, people are afraid, oh, AI is going to come in and take my job, right? So that change management skills are very, very critical for leaders, because at the end of the day, if they want to, I would say, bring AI to drive their business, then they need to be very, very clear on what the change management policies that they're going to bring in to have that adoption within the organization. Otherwise, it'll become a challenge.
This is brilliant, and I've noted down one is clearly alignment of the vision between business and technology, and having that continuous learning mindset. And we clearly know that generative AI has impact on employee and customers. And you made a very interesting point as well, change management, Pritpal. In fact, I was reading one of the article from BCG. They were highlighting 10, 20, 70 investment model, where only 10% spend on models, 20% on data and tech, 70% on people and culture. Again, going back with with your inputs, right, where many fail because they don't focus on people and culture and the change management. So it's clearly, this data point clearly goes back to what you said as well, right? There's a lot of opportunity for leaders to handle this change management. So going back to that, so what leadership qualities are most critical when steering teams through this AI-driven transformation?
I think, like some of them I've already covered in general, but again, start with business objective, right? Understand, what your stakeholder needs are. Okay, you're not basically going out and doing something very, very different, which is not even aligning with what you want to do. Prioritized by impact and feasibility, that is very important. Okay. Sometimes people just get carried away and they want to do an AI implementation, where they don't look at it, how they will drive the impact and whether it is feasible or not, right? So what we always do is, uh, we take these use cases and map them up. Okay, and once we map them up, we look at it. Okay, which use case has the highest impact and the highest visibility? You pick that one first, prioritize that, which will give you an immediate results, right? And most importantly, measure and iterate. Whatever you're doing, measure the outcome and then iterate on it, right? And then foster culture of problem solving. That will drive the innovation in the company. If there is a problem, you always look at what is the best way of solving it. That way, it's an ownership that basically drives innovation within the enterprise. So these are a few things that I would say, which are very critical. And then finally, where um, some of them are very afraid of, I would say, learn from failures, but stay disciplined on it. It is the pace at which you are making a change in the organization, right, is way faster than you have ever thought of in the past. Like those were the days when the projects used to run multi years, right?
Mm.
And these days you basically solve a problem and deploy it in production in 2 3 weeks,
Yes.
right? So that has completely changed the way, we are basically helping driving the business,
Mm.
right? But at the same time, don't afraid of failures, just be disciplined on it, learn from it, and then fix it and take it forward.
Again, once again, Pritpal, you give very beautiful, I would say, model. I really love that model of impact and visibility,
Mhm.
right? Pick out a use case that has high impact uh, in terms of an outcomes, and that has high visibility as well. And again, I love the word measure and iterate. Test and measure. Brilliant. No, these are gold mine, Pritpal. I wanted to touch base again on culture, very sensitive. Whilst I know it's a very misconception, but I want to take your perspective as going back to again Gartner report. As you could see, I bring a lot of Gartner reports. That organizations uh, using AI to augment, not replace. Right? People see 30% greater engagement, and that's what one of the Gartner reports says. But there is a general consensus some people, right? There's a lot of fears of redundancy still persist. It's a striking balance between where AI is not to replace but it's to augment. But again, how do you see AI being used to enhance rather than replace human creativity and productivity?
I think the most important thing when you say AI is for augmentation, right? When you look at augmentation, it is nothing but automating the mundane tasks,
Yes.
right? It is augmenting my day to day work. It is making me more smarter every day. It is giving me more, more bandwidth, because I can get certain things done without even putting an effort on it, right? That's one part. Second is it also drives a lot of personalized learning and development. Today, if I am even say if I'm part of, say, uh, underwriting team, okay, and that particular work is very complicated, right? Depending upon what are you writing and underwriting for, and there's a huge legal aspects of it. So AI is basically, again, augmenting that aspect where it is helping them drive to decisions faster,
Mm.
right? Rather than you going through all of that, AI goes in and understands the whole aspect. What is that policy request for, and how underwriting has to be done based on all the legacy information that a company has, right? And then it helps drive the results for them. So that's one part. Another thing is real time feedback and recognition, like analyzing the performance data and provide timely and constructive feedback on ongoing basis, right? Enhanced decision support, again it goes back to the same thing, but provide insights, scenario analysis, recommendations, helping employees make better decisions. All these aspects are basically tying up to AI augmenting them and not replacing them, right?
This is the brilliant as well. But still, somehow, Pritpal, there is a lot of fear among employees, right? There is a day in, day out when I'm talking to people like you as well, right? We have to learn some AI skills. I often get a lot of youngsters, they come and reach out to me, hey, what skills and competences that I need to learn in order to for me to thrive in this AI world. So I wanted to seek your perspective as well. What are the specific skills because not everybody can be a very technical, right? But still, they can be an AI generalist. So, based on your experience, are there any specific skills that everyone uh, should be focusing in terms of learning as well? So that could be valuable for our listeners who are listening to it.
Yeah, a few of the things, like if I say on a regular day-to-day basis, there is no such uh, tool which is not having AI built into it today, right? Like for example, WhatsApp of the world, Instagram, every uh, tool that we do it use it for day-to-day basis. Even some of the uh, I would say financial reporting tools that are there. So by default, we are using everything. Like if you need to write an answer, you basically use a chat GPT, right? Oh, I am gonna write something for this person, for this event, and for this occasion. Help me write something good for it, right? What are you doing? You're basically using the AI to
Mm.
help you. So the basic skills will be, there are two different categories. One is people who want to use the AI, and the other ones is who are actually developing AI capabilities and applications, right? For them, on the technology side, yes, knowledge of LLMs, knowledge of, I would say, infrastructure, overall infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, data infrastructure, knowledge of how you can build agents on top of LLM technologies, difference between various different LLMs, what can give you better result, what is hallucination, what is prompt engineering. Those are the kind of things, and we can start from the basic as well to have Python knowledge. This
Mm.
is where the technology comes into the picture. But the people who want to use AI, for them it is pretty simple and straightforward. Everything is already in place. They just need to have the sense of, okay, if I want to get some answer, I need to ask a right question, right? That's where the prompt comes very critical,
Mm.
right? So if you ask a right question, there is a 90% of chances that you'll get a better answer out of that, right? So that becomes very, very important for the regular users of, if they are using an AI. Like, for example, some people use a text and ask the AI to convert that text into picture,
Yeah.
right? Now if you are looking, if you and believe me, the person already have a picture in his mind,
Mm.
right? What the person is trying to do is get that right picture, right? But it'll all depend upon what you're telling AI and how you are telling AI to get to your final vision. So that is basically what one thing that they need to learn it better.
Well, thank you, Pritpa. You kept it very simple and straightforward. The one who is going to be the consumers of AI just learn at least the prompt engineering skills, right? You ask better questions, you get better output as well. For someone who is very passionate about developing the applications, the knowledge of LLM infrastructure, and how do you build agents on the top of LLM, um, are kind of going to be critical in terms of right, and in terms of skills and competences. I mean, look, Pritpal, really love the way you keep everything simple, and because I always believe the opposite side of complexity is simplicity, and you try to keep it very simple. And I myself enjoyed uh, some of the clarity of thoughts when it comes to the approach that one has to take as a leader, right? But I wanted to keep it now very light-hearted because, we wanted to, because we always believe that every successful leader I know, you manage a workforce of 4,000 people. It's not going to be easy. So I wanted to understand a bit more of you personally, and I'm sure our audience as well. Uh, if you had to go back in time, what advice you would give to a younger version of yourself?
Well, stay up to date on what's happening and what is coming, in the future. Again, don't be afraid of taking up a challenge. Whatever you do it with ownership. These are the three things that I would definitely like to tell everyone if I am my younger self.
What was the third one? Sorry, just missed it.
Whatever you do, take ownership.
Take ownership. Okay, I agree. Uh, Amazing. Stay up to date, continuous learning, and take ownership. And this is another subject of ownership, right? There is, we can talk in detail around that, um, but I'm always believe that every successful leader has a personal habit of practice they have diligently followed. Because as I've already mentioned, that you had a very successful career. Just wanted to understand what is that one personal or habit that you always diligently followed all these years for your the kind of success you've achieved. Is there any kind of personal habit or practice that you would love to share?
Planning.
Planning. Okay.
Because there are so many things that go in a day, so many meetings that you go through, right? So if you are up to date on your plan, I would say make a note of it, and the speed at which the day-to-day activities happen, right? You want to make sure that you're on top of it, and it becomes very difficult to be on top of so many things at the same time. But if you have a habit of plan well, you will have a habit of executing well as well.
Exactly. And if you're struggling with planning, then hey, use generative AI.
Yes, it will help you today.
To plan your brilliant, brilliant. So one final question: can you recommend a book that you've recently read that kind of resonated with you, and is that something that you would love to share?
Are you talking about
Any
something?
book that you read recently that kind of resonated with you very well, which you wanted to share?
Let me think of it from two aspects.
Okay.
A, either through business or from the technology side.
Oh,
So one of them is, check it out. It's called Winning on Purpose. It's a pretty decent book. It helps you, focus on winning by embracing higher purpose. Okay, we have always, you know a new target in our life, right? Every time, it becomes challenging as you grow. The life is not going to be simple, it's going to be more challenging. So this is one book that definitely I would say, uh, you know uh, that you should go forward. It's not going to just help you professionally, but it's going to also help you personally as well.
so does it talk about transcendent purpose? That's something way beyond what we wanted to think. Is that what you mean by higher purpose?
That is correct. It's basically focus on the unbeatable strategy of loving customers. Okay.
Okay.
So you have to have a purpose. Now, when I say customers, is not it that word doesn't only uh, align to the enterprise customers in general. Customers could be anyone. Customers could be your family, your boss, your colleagues. Anything. You can apply it anywhere.
Okay, understood. That's brilliant. No, Pritpal, these are amazing insights, and in fact, it's been a master class. Some of the frameworks or real world insights that you shared, and I'm sure our listeners going to enjoy. Before we wrap up, do you have any one final advice do you wanted to give to our listeners who really still confused in terms of AI or how to go about it? Do you have any advice for them?
I would say start from the basic. Don't rush into it. Uh, Pick up small problems. Also think of problems that you can create reusable assets that you're building. You put in an effort, see if how you can reuse it, and then slowly scale. That's the key aspect. And again, whatever you do, focus on outcome.
That's amazing. And that's a brilliant piece of wisdom that you shared, Pritpal. To our listeners, if today's conversation sparked new ideas and or helped you think differently, I would please encourage them to subscribe and share this episode. Until next time, stay curious and keep rising. Once again, thank you, Mr. Pritpal, for taking your time and sharing your insights to us. Really appreciate.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you for this wonderful session.
Thank you.